Welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful, yet kind of invisible forces in our digital world, the database. Seriously, it's the hidden engine that makes pretty much everything you do online actually work. So let's just dive right in. I mean, really think about it. How does an app juggle your preferences, your friends' updates, and your entire order history for millions of us all at once without just crashing and burning? Well, the answer lies in a really elegant solution for taming all of that messy, chaotic data. To really appreciate just how good the solution is, we have to understand the problem it solved. Before the sophisticated systems we have today, managing data was, well, it was like a digital Wild West. It was all based on simple files. Yeah, picture this. Trying to organize thousands of songs. You'd probably make folders for artists, right? And then subfolders for their albums. But what if you wanted to find every song released in, say, 1995? Or all of your rock anthems? You'd have to literally copy files and put them in different folders. Now, just scale that problem up to a bank trying to manage millions of customer accounts. It becomes an absolute nightmare fast. And this right here, this really gets to the heart of it. That old way, the file-based system, it wasn't just messy, you couldn't trust it. When you've got the same piece of information copied in 10 different places, how do you know which one is the right one? The database approach fixes all of that. It creates a single, secure source of truth that everyone can rely on all at the same time. So, what did this revolution actually look like? Well, it all came down to creating two key things that work together like a perfect team: the database itself, and the really powerful software that runs it. Let's break down what each one does. Okay, so first, the database. The most important words here are shared collection. This isn't just a bunch of separate files scattered everywhere. Nope. It's one central library of information. It's defined once, and then it's used by many different people and many different apps. It becomes the single source of truth for the whole organization. But of course, a library isn't much good without a librarian, is it? And that's where the Database Management System, or DBMS, comes in. This is the software. This is the brain of the whole operation. It's the collection of programs that does all the heavy lifting, creating, updating, and controlling who gets to see what in that big central library. And honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. The database is the library, this huge, amazing collection of information. The DBMS, that's your librarian. And it's not just any librarian, it's a super smart one who knows exactly where every single piece of information is, who's allowed to read it, how to find it in a split second, and how to keep it all perfectly organized and safe. So, how does this brilliant librarian do it? How do they keep everything so perfectly organized? It's not just random. There's a very specific and incredibly powerful system at play. That system is called the relational model. And it is, without a doubt, the foundation of almost every modern database you'll ever encounter. Instead of those messy, unstructured files, it organizes all the data into a bunch of simple, related tables. Think of them like super-powered spreadsheets that can all talk to each other. Now, the model has a few technical names, but trust me, they're really easy to get. A relation, that's just the official fancy term for a table. A tuple, that's just one single row in that table, like one employee's complete record. And an attribute is just a column, one specific piece of info, like last name or start date. See? Table, row, column. It's that simple. Okay, now for the librarian's number one rule. The secret sauce that prevents all those problems we talked about earlier. And that rule is eliminate redundant data. You should only ever have to store a piece of information, like a customer's address, in exactly one place. And the process for making this happen has a name: normalization. Normalization is basically a 3-step game plan. First, the system finds any information that's repeated over and over. Like an instructor's name showing up for every single class they teach. Second, it pulls that info out and gives it its own separate table. But the real magic is in step 3. You link them. So now, the classes table just points to the instructor's table. If an instructor changes their office number, you update it in just one spot and boom, it's instantly correct everywhere. That is the power of this idea. All right, so we've got this perfectly organized library. Everything is in its right place. But how do we actually ask our librarian to go find something for us? We can't just yell into the room and hope for the best. We need a special language. And that language is SQL. It stands for Structured Query Language. And it's the universal way we talk to pretty much all relational databases. It's how we ask questions, or how we query the data to get back exactly what we need and nothing we don't. And hey, don't let the idea of a language scare you. It's actually designed to be really logical and almost like plain English. A simple request like, show me all my employees sorted by their last name, translates very directly. You just select the columns you want, tell it from which table, and then order by how you want it all sorted. It makes a lot of sense when you see it like that. And it all comes down to this one really powerful idea. By getting everything into one well-structured database, you create one single source of truth. And from that one solid foundation, you can power a website, a mobile app, internal reports. You can power pretty much anything, and you can trust that the data is always going to be consistent and reliable. And look, this is not just some abstract technical stuff. This organized library, this whole system, is the engine running behind almost every single digital thing you do. It's what populates your social media feed, it's what keeps your online banking secure, it's what remembers what's in your shopping cart, and it's what makes sure your flight is actually booked. It is absolutely everywhere. So at the end of the day, that's the real takeaway. Databases take what could be total and utter data chaos, and they transform it into structured, reliable, instantly accessible information. They really are the unsung heroes that make our seamless digital lives even possible. So, we did it. We brought order from chaos. The library is built, the librarian has everything perfectly organized, so the question becomes, what now? With all of this perfectly structured information right at our fingertips, what new frontiers can we possibly explore with it? We'll get into that next time. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.